Welcome back to the Marketing Mindset. I'm Joe Koufman, CEO of AgencySparks. And every week we like to talk about a topic that we think is important or useful for you as a marketer. And so this week's episode is particularly about creating good objectives, but I want to just quickly recap some of the things we've talked about in the past. We've talked about brand storytelling. We've talked about tips for being more creative, simplifying your marketing message, being empathetic in your marketing, building great teams and relationships with clients. And then we even talked a little bit about AgencySparks events. Actually, this Friday we're hosting Spark South, which will bring about 200 students who are interested in building a digital marketing career, bringing them together with some senior marketers who can give them career advice as they navigate their career path. You can see past episodes of the Marketing Mindset by going to agencysparks.com/marketingmindset. Also, if you go to agencysparks.com/blog archives, you can see kind of long-form written pieces that usually result in these marketing mindsets. So we're going to talk about objectives today, just a little setup of objectives. They're typically sub-goals that contribute to an overall goal that the marketer wants to achieve. Every action taken in a marketer's job should have a clear objective. It's important to map those out in advance because, as you may have experienced, it's easy to get caught up in or overwhelmed with the details or possibilities and lose sight of the larger goal. So many of you know about SMART goals, and so I'm going to go into a little detail about what a SMART goal is. So the SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Specific, articulating the needs and how your objective will attain that goal. Is the plan simple? Is it sustainable? Measurable, is it quantitative? And qualitative, is it based on data? Do you track and report and then adjust your approach based on the measurement that you're doing? The third is attainable. Is the goal easy to achieve, or is it possible to achieve the goal? Is it relevant? Does the objective align with the brand's overall mission? Will it solve a current problem? And then is it timely? Are there deadlines with start and end dates? So what are the other ways to stay on track? There's sort of three principles that I'm going to discuss about staying on track with objectives. The first is, does the objective resonate with the audience? The second is to practice patience. And the third is to use social media wisely. So I'm going to go into a little more detail about each of those three. In terms of resonating with the audience, goals of companies generally revolve around reaching and serving their audience instead of casting a wider net and marketing to those who are invested and will listen. A pleased customer will often tell many other potential customers via word of mouth. Building enough awareness and trust among customers creates a following. They don't want to be bombarded. They don't want to be interrupted. Even if the goal is to expose as many people as possible to a marketing message, make sure that the execution and the objective keep the customer's preferences in mind. So resonating with the audience is the first one. Second one is practicing patience. There's so much content, so much competition in the market. It's tempting to have this real sense of urgency or even emergency. And content that's ill-prepared is really obvious because it becomes sloppy and noisy, and the audience will learn to tune it out. Taking the time to really formulate, extracting the insights, plan the objectives, and then setting strategy and tactics are all important. We actually wrote a great blog post using the Trojan War as an analogy for insight, objective, strategies, and tactics. Again, you can go back to agencysparks.com/blog archives and look for the Trojan War analogy. And then the last thing in patience, practicing patience, is just respecting the consumer's time. They'll respect the work if you respect their time. Quality is always preferred over quantity. And then the third the way to stay on track in terms of objectives is just using social media wisely. Purpose, purpose, purpose. Don't just post for the sake of posting. It has to have a really clear purpose. The audience matters, and the content that you put in front of them must have immense value. If it doesn't have value, don't post it. If it's too complicated to handle multiple platforms at once, focus on excelling at one platform and getting it right to draw the right demographic and the right audience, and then go from there. And then each post should contain a really clear objective: gaining followers or increasing impressions or drawing consumers to the company website or tracking engagement. Whatever those specific goals you have, ultimately should ladder up to the larger objective. So again, the three kind of tenets that we want you to remember about setting your objective are resonating with the audience, practicing patience, and then using social media wisely. Again, be smart. Use SMART goals. If you don't strategically plan, you could venture off topic and lose track of the task at hand. Objectives don't come out of thin air. They support a larger goal for the brand, so plan them out. And understand the culture of the brand. What's the voice, the story, the purpose, and set some specific rules and guidelines for the objective that guide telling the brand's message. So that's it for the objectives episode of Marketing Mindset. Please let us know if there's anything you'd like for us to talk about in the future, if there's anything we missed. Again, if you want to go back and see past episodes, you can go to agencysparks.com/marketingmindset. Also, if you go to agencysparks.com/blog archives, you can see the blogs that we typically base these conversations on. So looking forward to seeing you next week again in the Marketing Mindset.